Well, I came for my t-shirt, but I think I'm going to have to settle for a sign. What a beautiful sign, and what a beautiful sight, really. Uh, I hope someone on my staff is getting a photo of this group because you are truly beautiful, patriotic, dedicated veteran. Giving the country that you are continuing to serve. Thank you to Common Defense for bringing us together. I am really so proud to stand with you and to say the VA is not for sale. When I pray millions and millions of veterans across the country who depend on the VA for their health care, who have deserved benefits under the PAC Act, we're not going to allow veterans to be betrayed by this administration. Now, I've just come from a hearing with the VA secretary, and to say it was a disappointment, I think, is a huge understatement. That hearing was a disgrace. Yes. He failed to provide basic facts and information. Has done, and the VA and this administration have done again and again and again. Almost 20 of our letters, no substantive response. Inquiries about basic facts, no response. But here's what we know for sure. Their goal, and that's his word, is to fire 83,000 veterans. How do we know it? Because he has said it in public repeatedly. The goal is a 15% cut. Who's going to be fired? Where they work? What they do? They don't care. They just want to slash an agency that, frankly, like any of us, could use improvement. None of us is perfect. But that does not mean it should be dismantled and sold to the highest bidder. They want to put the VA on the chopping block. In fact, on the auction block. They want to privatize VA healthcare. They want to turn over VA benefits to some outsourcing. That's their plan. And a 15% cut is their first step. They won't say it, but it clearly is the must Doge dopes plan for the VA, and Donald Trump is putting his stamp of approval on it. Now, what I want to emphasize is the VA should be getting more resources, more doctors, more surgeons, more nurses, more counselors, more social workers, more schedulers, more janitors. They are all part of a team. The surgeon can't go into the operating room on her own and begin wielding a scalpel to correct some illness or problem. It's a team. The nurses, the anesthesiologist. When the VA secretary says that a doctor is useless because they're not seeing a patient, that view betrays a total ignorance of how healthcare and medicine works. The doctor who sees you depends on other doctors, as well as nurses, behind the scenes to interpret lab results, to process reports, and provide diagnoses. The VA already has 40,000 openings that it is recruiting to fill, and now it wants to fire 83,000 of the same people it's trying to recruit. Makes no sense. It is nonsensical. It is a betrayal of healthcare. And what Americans need to know is we should be supporting the VA. Should be behind the VA We should invest in the VA facilities so they can be modernized. We should invest in more medical education because we need more doctors and nurses. Be providing for every veteran goes to see a doctor or applies his benefits at the VA. And I'll just finish with this note. I have proposed a measure called putting veterans first. Putting veterans. Rehire all the veterans who've been terminated in the federal work.
Yeah, yes.
They're about 25, 30% of the federal. So when Elon Musk fires thousands of people, he's firing veterans. Rehire every single VA employee who has been fired because they're essential, and put a stop to these arbitrary draconian firing without any individual evaluation. They're just firing people because they're probationers. They're the future of our workforce. Or they've just been promoted, so they're on probationary status. Their approach to the VA is flat and crass. Put it on the auction block, privatize its services. We don't care about the real life impact, but the people with us here know about the real life impact of these firings. Healthcare delay, which is healthcare denied. VA PAC Act benefits, delayed and potentially denied. Outlast veterans in the hope that maybe they'll pass away before we have to compensate them for their disability. That kind of attitude has no place in America. I'm proud to stand with you today and to say veteran health care, not for sale. VA, not for sale. Not on our watch. Thank you.